It is the morning of June the 13th, 2024, and it's the last day of the cruise. Just finishing up my packing, and then we have to disembark. We have time for one more breakfast. Let's go. I've walked up these stairs every morning for the last 11 mornings, and today's the last time. Saying goodbye to the empty pool deck. I didn't even use the pool or the hot tubs this whole cruise. I missed out, but goodbye Norwegian Prima. Let's go to our cabin, let's finish packing, and let's disembark. If you haven't been watching this cruise series, go back and watch them because we got views like this every day. Everybody's just waiting to disembark now. Disembarkation's down there on deck 6. Walking down the deck 13, corridor 1. Last time. My cabin has been 13807. So that's it, I'm officially packed and ready to go. Let's leave the cabin and let's disembark the Norwegian Prima. I just had to fix my account at guest services. You know what's funny? Some of these people I've never seen before, and we've been on the same ship for the last 11 days. Where have they been? Where have I been? Anyway, time to disembark.
Deck 7 midship once again.
That's it, it's the end of the cruise. Goodbye Norwegian Prima, see you next time. I'm getting blown into the North Sea, it's so windy. Last look at the Norwegian Prima. Gotta try and take a shuttle bus. Welcome to the windiest city in the world. Welcome to Reykjavik, Iceland. So there's a free shuttle bus from the ship to the city center, and I'm actually staying in Reykjavik for a few days, so I'm not going home yet. It is 12 o'clock now. I can't check into the hotel until 3, but they're gonna store my luggage for me, so let's go and see Reykjavik. I have a tour booked, a city tour booked at 1:30, so we have an hour and a half to just look around, see what we can find. I only left the ship a few hours ago and I already have cruise blues. Now I've got to find my own food, now I've got to pay for it. I booked a very exciting tour for tomorrow, something I've never ever done before, something I've always wanted to do, so we're going to do that tomorrow. But yeah, today just have a little walk around, then we're going to do a tour. This is actually a very interesting time in Iceland because the sun never sets. They have 24-hour sun, midnight sun, so at midnight it will literally look like this. Icelandic people are some of the most friendliest people I've ever met, and they have some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my whole life. Wow. I think Iceland might have the biggest contrast between the capital city and the rest of the country. Reykjavik is nothing like the rest of Iceland. It's so interesting. So if you're going to come to Iceland, don't just stay in Reykjavik. There's so much else to see. I'm not going to talk about the cruise anymore because I already have so many videos about that, so go and check that out if you want to know what it's like to cruise on the Norwegian Prima. But it was amazing. I miss it so much already. But we're gonna keep traveling. One thing you need to be prepared for if you're gonna visit Iceland is the prices. Extremely expensive, like ridiculously expensive. One of the most expensive places I've ever been to, especially Reykjavik. So I'll give you an example of the prices here in Reykjavik. So this is just a normal street, nothing special, not a high street. There's a fish and chip restaurant here. And the price of the fish and chips, 3,390 Icelandic krona. That is 25 US dollars. That is absolutely crazy. This is a Viking museum. The original Vikings weren't from Iceland. They were from Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. This is going to be the first time I paid for food in 11 days. Let's check out the supermarket. Welcome to the Bonus supermarket. Their mascot's a pig. I think that's hilarious, but around 100 Icelandic krona is around 70 US cents. Just got a little Pepsi. Pepsi's better than Coke, by the way. The wind is crazy. I think every single Icelandic person would have a bad hair day every single day. It's on the west coast of Iceland. And if you keep swimming that way for a long time, you'll get to Greenland. And it's funny that Iceland is green and Greenland is covered in ice. I was lucky enough to see some whales while we was on the ship, so go and check out those videos to see that. But there's whales out there, there's dolphins out there, just swimming about. Wow. Iceland is a very unique country. I've never been to a country like Iceland. And like I said, Reykjavik, the capital city, is so different from the rest of Iceland. So one of my ambitions is to drive all the way around the whole country. It's called the Ring Road. And it looks so much fun. So one day I'm going to do that. Only a few days before my cruise, there was a volcano eruption in Iceland. And it closed down the Blue Lagoon like it was a big deal. And a few days ago there was another one, so the Blue Lagoon was closed again. So I think everything's okay now because I spoke to some people this morning that they're going to the Blue Lagoon today. So it reopened yesterday, I think, or the day before. But yeah, Iceland is the land of ice and fire. This is how you can tell tourists from local people. Tourists just like me. They're all covered up, and local people just like that guy. Shorts. Because this is a good day for them. Because literally 10 days ago, there was a big snowstorm. So there was snow everywhere. But now, this is a good day. There is a Domino's pizza right across the street, but one thing that Iceland does not have is McDonald's. Zero McDonald's in Iceland. I'm just walking down this residential street, nothing too exciting. Look at this cool camper. That is so cool. I bet it's cozy. This part of the city is pretty bleak. Not much going on over here, very residential, but not very colorful. This is a cemetery. All of those people died with regrets. Don't do that. So it's 1 o'clock now. I'm gonna head inside the city because I need to go and meet my tour group. I'm doing a free walking tour today. I've done so many of these in different cities, but it's based on commission. Whatever you think the tour is worth, that's how much you pay. If you think it's worth nothing, then you walk away. If you think it's worth $10, then you pay $10. It's up to you. Look at these kids playing in the park. They get to see that view every single day. I think Iceland would be an amazing place to grow up. I spoke to a few locals in the ports and they said it's the perfect place for kids to grow up. Very clean, very safe, and they have everything they need here. I spoke to one guy, he was a professional snowboarder, and he said he's lived in so many different countries all around the world as a snowboarder, but he came back to Iceland because he doesn't need any more. They have everything here, it's great for his kids, so he decided to stay in Iceland. This is actually a school, Lucky Kids. I might see if they need an English teacher. I have been to Reykjavik before, and it's making me think. Things are just popping up in my mind that I remember. I remember walking across that bridge over there. That is used to be an information center. I wonder if it still is, but the city hall's over there. And the last time I was here, the last time I was in Reykjavik, I went to this restaurant and they sold soup, but the bowl, it wasn't a normal bowl, it was a bread bowl. So the bowl was made out of bread, then they put soup in it. It was delicious. But one thing special about the restaurant is the walls were covered with money, like money from around the world, and everyone signed it. So what you do, you bring a note in, you sign it, and then they stick it to the wall. I brought some Chinese money there, like it was like 7 years ago, so I wonder if it's still there. I remember what the street looks like, but I don't remember the name of the restaurant, so hopefully I can find it and see if my money's still on the wall. If you visit Reykjavik, one thing you'll immediately notice is, yes, the city's very small, but the buildings, they're very low. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a church there. That is the tallest building in Reykjavik, and it's pretty short, to be honest, but so's the whole city. I'm pretty sure that we go to the church during the tour. If we don't, then we go there after, but that is the tallest building in Reykjavik. I just bumped into one of the singers from the cruise ship. It's so funny that life goes on. I disembarked the cruise ship today, but somebody else is going to be in my cabin tonight. The music's going to be there, shows are going to be there, buffet. Life goes on. One more thing I want to say before we go and meet the tour group is Icelandic people, very friendly, very kind. Everybody speaks English, young people, old people, but none of the signs are in English. I have a very photographic memory. Names, especially Icelandic names, I don't remember them too much, but I literally remember walking down there like 7-8 years ago. I hope I find that restaurant because I want to see if my money's still on the wall, and I know it's going to be my money because I wrote my name on it. So I made it to a square called Ostavula. This is where the tour is going to start. Over there is a Shanghai restaurant, there's a hotel, City Hall's down there, and our tour group's going to be in the middle. If you visit any major city, look up free tours. You don't have to spend $100 for a tour. Well, you can if you want to, if you want a private tour, but there's so many great free tours out there, and like I said, you pay whatever you want. So that's my group there. Very mixed group of people. You always get mixed people, like rich people, old people, young people, families, because I mean a tour's a tour basically, you know. I think the only thing you're going to pay extra for is a private tour, but does it really matter that much? I don't think so. So our tour guide today is Andrew, very cool guy. So this is actually the Parliament building, and the flag is up, so there's a Parliament meeting happening right now, and as you can see, no armed guards. The only building in the whole of Iceland that has armed guards is the US Embassy. Americans. Literally 2 weeks ago, Iceland just elected their new Prime Minister, and it's a woman, and the two finalists were two women. So the square right there, that's Parliament Square, and Andrew said that there's a lot of protests there, but they hardly ever get out of hand. So this guy is Skuli Magnusson. So His dad's name was Magnus, so he's Magnus' son. That's what they do in the Icelandic language. But he was the first sheriff of Iceland, and this was the first ever street in Reykjavik. This is Main Street, so the sign over there, I can't say it, it's in Icelandic, but that means Main Street. Andrew said that there's only 2,000 names that people can name their children in Iceland. You can't just pick your own name, you can't make something up, you have to choose it from the list.
And after that they would only build the concrete. Now can you give me a guess of how many?
Up there is a mural of a polar bear fighting a puffin. Polar bears are not native to Iceland. And here, this is the first ever building in Reykjavik.
And that's actually kind of almost natural.
So that was an Icelandic instrument. Sounds really cool. So Iceland only uses 4% of the energy that it produces, so it sells around 80% of the energy that it produces. So they have a lot of money. Their money comes from fishing, it comes from the energy, and it comes from tourism. I guess this is Main Street Reykjavik. There's 5 bars down here, and this is where all the action happens. That's it, 5 bars in a capital city. It's crazy. Out of the whole city of Reykjavik, the most popular place to get food is that hot dog stand right there. It's been owned by the same family since 1937. I just asked the tour guide, why is there no McDonald's in Iceland? And I just assumed that Icelandic people don't like it, but he said it's so difficult to get the goods shipped in because it has to come from the headquarters. That is the Bank of Iceland, and right there is the Phallological Museum. I'm not going to tell you what that means, you can look it up. Just across the street over there, that used to be a prison, and Denmark used to send their criminals over here because there's nowhere to run to in Iceland. But now it's the president's office.
Do genealogy, or if you look into your family, just keep many times. There's also the National Archives.
This is an art museum. It was built by the Danish. The one next to it, that is the theater, and you can see Frozen in Icelandic. Welcome to the most Instagrammable street in the whole of Iceland. This is Rainbow Street. Really good tour. I really like the tour guide Andrew, very informative, told us some really cool stuff. Iceland is fascinating. This tour is with City Walk, and like I said, you pay whatever you want. There's no expectation, there's no limit, there's no minimum. And now I'm gonna head to the tallest building in the whole of Reykjavik, right there. I think the most interesting thing that I learned during the tour was, I think Andrew said the population of Iceland is 400,000, so 2/3 of that live in Reykjavik, and Iceland gets 2.3 million visitors, tourists every single year. But that changed dramatically in 2010 when there was the volcano eruption that stopped all the flights in Europe, and before that there was only 400,000, 500,000 visitors to Iceland every year. But they used the volcano for advertisements, so they was posting beautiful pictures and videos on the internet, and that's why more people started to come. Now they get over 2 million visitors every single year. So of course there has to be a limit, so they think it's around 200,000 tourists at any one time, because Icelandic people want you to come here, see the beautiful country, but they also want you to leave because there's not enough space for everybody. Welcome to the tallest building in Iceland. This is what it's called. I'm not even going to try and attempt to say that name, but tallest building in Iceland is right here. As you can see, no tall skyscrapers, just a big church. This is the name. You can try and say it. So as you can see, you cannot see the clock tower inside. You can pay to go up there, but you can't see it. Like, the roof's not very high in here, but it's behind the organ. One of the postcards in there looked like a Christmas market or just a market outside here. I bet that's cool when it's snowing. This looks like a cool street. We're going to take a look down here, but first of all, I have no idea who's sitting there watching the traffic go by with your legs in the road. I don't know, but there looks like some cool houses down here. Starting with that blue one, yellow one. This dog understands Icelandic. These houses down here are so cool. You gotta paint it a fun color. One thing that I've noticed in Reykjavik is there's a lot of cats on the street, and they're all very friendly. I think that cat's gonna let me pet him. Let's find out. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. There you go. The cats here are so friendly, all of them. They must be used to people. Oh. So at the beginning of the video I told you I'm going to do something tomorrow I've never done before. It's not the Blue Lagoon. I've never done that before, but I'm glad that I did not book it because it's closed. It did reopen because, well, there was a volcano eruption, so it closed down and then it reopened again, but now it's closed again. So I just got talking to someone up there and they've been trying to go to the Blue Lagoon for 5 days. So they made a reservation, got cancelled. They thought they can go today, but because of the bad air quality, they can't go today. So 5 times they've been cancelled. It is now 6 o'clock. I just relaxed in the hotel for a few hours, but I'm gonna go watch a football game. I need to try and take an Icelandic bus. As you can see, none of the information or stops is in English, but that's okay. And also you can't use contactless card. You need to get the app. I just got kicked off the bus. So like I said, you can't use contactless on the bus. You have to get the app. You have to get the app. So I got the app and then you have to like add money to it. So it's 630 Icelandic krona, which is like $4.50 for a bus, public bus. So then I paid that and then you need to get a QR code. So of course you need internet to get the QR code. So I took a screenshot of it and then I tried to scan it on the bus and it wouldn't scan. And he said, show me the app, but the app won't load because I have no internet. And he kicked me off the bus. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it to football. I showed him the app that it wouldn't load. I showed him the screenshot and it shows the time that I bought the ticket, which is like 10 minutes ago when I was in the hotel on the Wi-Fi. But he said, no, you didn't pay, you need to get off. So I was like, really? Like I literally have the time, I literally have the ticket and I'm showing you that the app doesn't load. And he said, no, so I got kicked off an Icelandic bus. I'm not gonna try and walk there, it's like 3.5 miles away. So, and I don't even have enough time because it's 6 now, the game's at 7:15. It's gonna take, I don't know how long to walk there, but that's okay. Lucky I didn't buy a ticket because I looked to buy a ticket for the football game, but then you need to put in your phone number, which I don't have a phone number because I don't have service here, I don't have internet. So lucky I didn't waste the money on the ticket, but I lost the money for the bus ticket. So in Reykjavik there's like 5 or 6 professional teams and luckily there's another game tonight. Should I go? What do you think? What do you think? Should I go? Okay. So the other Reykjavik team is only going to take me 30 minutes to walk there, so I have time to get there before the game starts, so I'm going to try and go there. This is the second Shanghai restaurant that I've seen today. I just went inside a supermarket back there. Outrageous prices. If you're Icelandic, how do people survive? How do people live in such an expensive place? Ridiculously expensive. That's coming from someone that lives in England, lives in the UK. We're expensive, but Iceland is something else. Crazy. So I'm walking down the street and I see the Norwegian Prima is leaving. It's leaving without me. That was my home for 11 days. I had an amazing time. Goodbye, Norwegian Prima. I'm telling you, it makes me so sad to walk inside a supermarket and see a small sandwich for like $12 and then I see a ship rolling by with the buffet, as much cake as you want, as cruise blues already. So I asked the person at the front desk of my hotel, I said, I want to go and watch a football game in Iceland tonight. Do you know how I can buy tickets? And they said, I have no idea. No one's ever asked me about football in Iceland before. The league is not very good, it's not that popular, but I like watching football, so I haven't got a ticket for this game. I'm almost at the stadium, but if I can't get inside this stadium, I've already been kicked off the bus, and if they're gonna kick me out the stadium, then Iceland is gonna go down in my evaluations, because at the moment I think it's number 2 or 3 of my most favorite countries I've ever been to, but Iceland, please let me into this football game. Not much to see on this side of Reykjavik. So the city, of course, is not that big, but it's very spread out. It takes a long time to get from one side to the other, and I mean the downtown area is over there, but looks like nothing over here. Every time I make a video inside a country, I want the people from that country to watch it and tell me what they think, because a while ago I made a video in Sweden and I still have Swedish people watching my videos and commenting on my videos, but I'm always interested in other people's perspective when they watch me in their own country. Just a thought, but yeah, if you're Icelandic, tell me. But then again, I've also had people to say don't come back to my country because I said something bad about it. Not everywhere is perfect. Every day can't be sunshine and rainbows, so I'm always very, very honest. The bus system in Iceland, you should be able to use contactless, because tourists have to download an app, you have to pay for it, and then you have to have internet. It's not convenient. So the Icelandic bus system, I don't like it because I got kicked off a bus, but I'm always honest. You don't like it, that's all right, life goes on. There's the time, 6:37, and as you can see, no sign of a sunset. The sun is not going to set today. At midnight it's still going to look like this, Midnight sun. Do you remember earlier when I said the only place in Iceland protected by armed guards is the United States Embassy? It's right there. I didn't even know it was there, but it's right there. I better not get too close, sorry Americans, but yeah, the United States of America Embassy, right there. And as you can tell, not even Iceland people walk all this way to watch this football game, so that's how much I want to watch a live football game, that I'll walk here, even though Icelandic people won't even do the same thing. By the way, the original game I was going to go to and take the bus to was like the best team in Iceland, but this is not even the top league. This is the second league, and I just want to watch a game of football. If I get there and they say you need to download an app, I'm going to leave Iceland right now because I'm sick of Icelandic apps. I see a big stadium over there, but we are going to the small stadium right there, tiny one. This is the team we are watching. Welcome to the biggest game in the world. I've been sent away. I asked this guy here if I can buy a ticket and he said go up there. And we are in. Welcome to Icelandic football. I can't believe I'm at an Iceland second division game. We've got the mountains in the background. We've got a guy with a drum down here. There's like 20 people here. What's going on? This is the closest I've ever been to leaving a game at halftime. It's terrible. It's so bad, but I expected it to be bad. Like, the standard is just horrible. It's so difficult to play football in Iceland because it's so windy. But this guy. This guy would not stop hitting the drum. Every second of the game, this guy, it's shaking my brain. Like, I'm so close to leaving just because of that guy. I mean, I want to watch football. Like, the game's bad. I expected it to be bad, but it's 1-1. There's been 2 goals. This is the teams, by the way. You've never heard of him. I've never heard of him. But this guy is just shaking my brain with this drum, and everybody's just annoyed by him. He's annoying everybody. But the only reason I'm going to stay is because I paid $18 to watch this game. Okay, it's not cheap. It is not cheap, $18 to watch this game, and it's terrible, but, you know, Iceland football. That was not great. It didn't get better. There was probably 200 people there, so it wasn't too bad, but terrible game. I'm gonna have nightmares about that drum. If you like this team, if you go and watch this team, that guy needs to stop. And now I have a 30-minute walk back to the hotel because they won't let me on the buses. But the cool thing is, it's 9:15 and the sun's still out. The sun will not set tonight. We have a midnight sun, 24 hours of sunlight. There it is, there's my bus. Well, it's not my bus because they won't let me on, but there's the bus. I tell you, the sunlight thing is a really strange feeling. Like, it feels like the morning. It feels like very, very early morning, but of course it's almost 9:30 p.m. It's very strange. Anyway, so tomorrow we're doing puffin watching. I've done whale watching, so I want to change it up, do some puffin watching. So hit subscribe if you want to see that, and then whatever happens after that, wherever I go next, because it's going to be somewhere, and hopefully it's going to be somewhere warm. But thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the cruise series, and I'll see you tomorrow puffin watching. Goodbye.